Can you imagine leaving your family, your culture, and your entire life behind because you found love here in the United States? Hello, Immigration Nation. Today, let's delve into a tale of courage, survival, and a law that has changed lives. The Violence Against Women Act, or VAWA for short. It's more than a story. It's a lesson in hope and legal empowerment. Meet Alexa, a Latina woman who, under the promise of love and a better future, decided to leave everything behind to start a new life in the United States with her American husband. But Alexa's dream turned into a nightmare. She was trapped in a controlling marriage, living in fear, isolated, and threatened with deportation if she ever disobeyed her husband. He not only restricted her from working, but also isolated her from the outside world. Now, Alexa had 2 children from a prior relationship, which complicated her situation even more. Threats were constant, and she lived in fear of deportation and separation from her kids if she didn't obey every order her husband gave. Imagine living under such pressure, unable to speak with friends or family. This couldn't last, and it didn't. One day, in a rare shopping trip without her husband, Alexa's daughter wanted a dress. Alexa didn't have enough money to buy it, and she couldn't bear to tell her daughter no. In desperation, she stole the dress, but she was caught and arrested for theft. Her nightmare was becoming a reality. She was put into deportation proceedings. Alexa, however, was fortunate. The police officer who arrested her noticed something unusual. He worked with victims of domestic violence in the past and realized not everything here was as it seemed. The discovery would change the course of Alexa's life. This is where VAWA comes into play. Enacted in 1994, VAWA offers hope, allowing victims like Alexa to seek legal status without their abuser's knowledge. But it's not just for women. It applies to anyone suffering from abuse from a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, including men. And it doesn't have to be just spouse. Eligibility for VAWA requires the victim to have suffered extreme physical or mental abuse. The immigrant had to have lived with the abuser, and the abuser has to be an immediate relative, and generally we're talking about a parent, a spouse, or a child who is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. Immediate relatives is usually limited to U.S. citizens, but for VAWA, it was extended to include lawful permanent residents. The victim must provide supporting documentation to prove the relationship is legitimate and the abuse suffered meets the standard. USCIS ensures confidentiality in these cases. The victim can file Form I-360 confidentially, safeguarding him or her from future harm. The adjudication process begins once USCIS receives the petition. They review the documentation and assess eligibility before making a decision. Through VAWA, Alexa could break the chains of abuse. Her story is not only a testament to courage, but also underscores the importance of the law that gave her a new opportunity. She is now divorced from her husband and a lawful permanent resident waiting to file for citizenship. She doesn't have to worry about separated from her kids or her life in the United States. So, Immigration Nation, Alexa's story is a powerful example of how VAWA changes lives. It's a beacon of hope for many in similar situations. But remember, VAWA isn't limited to women. Also, Alexa was an example of a marriage-based abuse, but VAWA is not limited to just marriage-based situation. We have clients who the step-parent, the new spouse, abused his or her stepchildren, or children that suffer from mental or medical disability abuse their parents who are trying to help them. Think of autism or schizophrenia, bipolar, sometimes depression, drug abuse. We've talked about these examples in some of our videos in the past. The most common example is spousal abuse, but remember, it isn't the only way you can qualify for VAWA. If you find yourself in a similar situation or you know someone who is, don't hesitate to seek help. Remember, there are immigration experts ready to guide you. As a special thank you for our community, I'm giving you a free copy of my book if you live in the United States with solutions for immigration journey. If you live in the US, we'll mail you a copy. Anywhere else, we'll send you an electronic version. You can find the link in the video description. Thank you for being part of Immigration Nation. Please share this video to spread crucial knowledge. Until next time. Hey, did you like the video? I invite you to watch another video where I share more tips on how to protect your reputation as an immigrant. Until next time.